Okay, hi everybody. Mark Knights here from, well, I run RPG Nights, but it's just me really. I did say that I wanted to run a Numenera sort of one-shot game, basically to get my hand in to see what it's like, and also to give other people a chance to see what it's like. I'm going to be running it in an Australian time zone, so if you happen to cross this video somewhere else, then it will be run via an Australian time zone, being GMT plus 11, so Greenwich Mean Time plus 11 at the moment due to summertime. Now, the date that I'm going to run this game will be, let me just have a look here at my wondrous dates, will be the 17th of December, which is Wednesday next week. I think. Hang on, let me make absolutely certain of this. 17th of December. 17th of December, which is Wednesday next week. I know it's getting a bit close to Christmas, and I apologise for that, but I did say I wanted to run it in December, and I do, because I don't know what I'm going to be doing gaming-wise next year. I kind of have a couple of plans for Traveller, but I'm not sure whether I'm going to run Traveller, or if I'm going to run a Star Wars game, or if I'm going to run Numenera or something. I just want to have a look at Numenera and see how it runs, and decide if I want to be running this game or not. The Pathfinder Reign of Winter game will continue until its conclusion. I have had some discussions about what I'm going to do with Pathfinder past that, but no guarantees. We'll see what happens. So, for those of you that are interested, and I'm only really going to post this video up in the G Plus Tabletop Role-Playing Games Asia Pacific region, if you are interested in having a crack at a Numenera one-shot, what is going to happen is this. We will, on Wednesday, be ready to go. We will have characters made from the main book. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a bit of a description about what Numenera is about now, and then we should be right pretty much to get into it straight away. Numenera is a game a billion years into the future, I believe, of Earth, in the ninth world. Now, it's the idea that the people of this time have been through 8 previous worlds, so to speak, worlds with little thingies around them, but they don't really know. Alien technologies, all that sort of stuff, but now it's gone back to sort of like almost a fantasy type realm where the people don't really know much about the technology that surrounds them and see it pretty much as magic. So that's what we're looking at doing. There are 3 types of character classes, as shown there. There is the glaive. The glaive is sort of like a warrior. There is the nano, who is kind of like a wizard, or essentially he's the person, he or she is the person that knows the most about the nanotechnology around them and can manipulate it in ways that they want. They don't necessarily use it the way it was meant for, but they do use it and can get abilities out of it. And there's the jack, who's kind of like a jack of all trades. Now, a character is made up of 3 things. One of them is the class. One of them is a descriptor. I'll show you the character sheet here. It's one of the most beautiful sort of character sheets that you can possibly find anywhere for any game, anytime, anywhere. A character is made up of a descriptor, a type, and a focus. Okay, so a descriptor is sort of like something that describes you, obviously. So I've got an example character here. His name is Darren Steele. He is a mystical nano who exists partially out of phase. Now, the final portion, so you can see the second portion is your class or type. So you're either a glaive, a nano, or a jack. The final part of it is called a focus, and that is sort of like something special about your character. So my character exists partially out of phase. What that means is he can walk through walls and do cool stuff like that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make you your characters. I'm going to put down the bottom of the screen somewhere on my blog. So it won't be on the YouTube channel, it'll be on my blog. So make sure you go to the blog. I'm going to put up the descriptors and the focuses that you can use. And if you're interested in playing this game, for the first 5 people that come on board, you can give me your focus, your type, and your descriptor, and I will make your character up for you so it's ready, prepared for your game. So you'll be pretty much flying blind a little bit unless you've got Numenera of the game and you can look up this sort of stuff. But essentially just pick something that sounds cool, because essentially that's what the game's all about. Also give me a name if you can. Now, Numenera itself is a game that works pretty much with just a d20. I, as the GM, pretty much don't roll anything. There are a couple of exceptions, but I don't roll any dice, and essentially you're the only person that rolls dice. It works via me as the GM, giving you a difficulty rating. Okay, so you say I find a chasm and I want to leap over that chasm, and I say, well, it's a pretty big chasm. I give that a 7 out of 10 difficulty. Okay, and that's sort of where I work from. And then you work at reducing that difficulty number, because that difficulty number gets multiplied by 3. And so you would need to roll a 21 or better on a d20 to actually succeed at that. So obviously, in that circumstance, I've just made it impossible for a person that just wants to have a little bit of a hop over the thing to do. So what you need to do is, you've got one of 3 ways you can go. You can use all 3 methods. The first way you can do is you can be skilled. So if you were skilled in jumping stuff, because skills are very open in Numenera, but let's say it's athletics. Okay, let's say you're skilled in athletics, which means you have the ability to jump stuff. Now, if you're just trained in that skill, then you reduce the rank by 1. If you're specialized in that skill, you reduce the difficulty rank by 2. So you might have just, let's say I'm trained in athletics, so I've reduced it from a 7 to a 6, which means I now need an 18 plus on a d20. The next thing is, do you have a device that enables you or helps you do something? So let's say I'm wearing some shoes that have springs on them, or even just like a little sort of, I can flick a switch and they give me a little bit of a rocket boost, although that'd be more of a cipher, which we'll talk about in a moment. But let's just say that I've got some of those old grasshopper shoes that they once made with the springs on the bottom of them. That's a device that makes it a little bit easier for me to jump long distances. So in that case, I would reduce another difficulty point off. So I'm now down to difficulty rating 5, which means I need a 15 plus. Now, we also have, and these are pretty much the things called your stats in here, 3 stats. We've got might, speed, or intellect. Might is obviously strength and strength-based stuff. Speed is reacting and dodging and stuff like that, and intellect. Now, I might say I want to use some effort. Now, this is what happens. You can actually reduce difficulty ratings by applying effort. And what that does is it reduces your pool by 3 for every point of effort you can do. Now, my character only has a maximum effort of 1, so I can only ever spend one effort. I'm going to use might, because it's a strength-based thing. I'm going to have to really push myself to jump over this thing, so I'm going to spend a point of effort, which means I reduce my might pool by 3. If I had an edge, that would only reduce it by 2, but because I don't have an edge, it reduces it by 3, so I'd have 4 left in my might pool, which would reduce my difficulty rating down to a 4, which means I need a 12 plus on a d20. And then I roll and see what happens from there, and the GM works from that. The GM has the ability to create GM intrusions, which is things that make things interesting. Okay, and that's all the description I can really give you. I can come in and I can go, yeah, that's interesting. If you ever roll a natural 1 on a test, I get an automatic free GM intrusion. I come in and make things interesting for you. If you are just going normally along, I still have some intrusions that I can use. It's based on the number of players in the game. So when I create an intrusion, what I do is actually hand out 2 experience points to the person. If you want to take the intrusion, you can accept them and go, I'll take that intrusion. You take the experience point, you give one to yourself, and you give one to another player. Interesting concept. And you can use experience points for rerolls and stuff like that, which is pretty much what I suggest you do in a one-shot, but you can also save them up and build up your character and stuff like that. So pretty much that's Numenera in a nutshell. Numenera in a nutshell. I hate Austin Powers. Anyway, so let's put it out there. If you want to play next Wednesday night, make sure you're watching this on the blog, or you go to the blog straight afterwards. You have a look at the varying descriptors and focuses and stuff like that, and comment on the blog. First 5 in are the first 5 in. So I can't have a game that's filled with hundreds of people. I'm sorry, I'd really love to, but 5 people is pretty much the stretch while I'm still learning the system. Well, I've learned the system, but while I'm running my first game. So we'll see how we go. Until then, keep rolling.